Hello and welcome to County Courier. I'm Gail Whitaker. The purpose of this program is to provide York County residents with information about events, items of special interest, and the general operations of the York County government. Today in the studio we're going to be talking about an item of special interest, the Fort Eustis Boulevard expansion project. Joining me is VDOT area construction engineer Tom Druitt. Tom, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about this project. How long has it been in the plans?
The project's been under consideration for quite some time. There was a public hearing design phase completed back in the year 2000, but then the project was put on the shelf for a while because we didn't have any construction money.
Mm-hmm. And why is it being constructed now?
The federal stimulus project freed up some construction money. There's about $20 million of construction money available for this project so that we can build the road.
Mm-hmm. And what is involved in this road and why are we widening it now? I mean, a lot of us know that it's one lane in either direction, 55 miles an hour at parts of it. Is it a safety issue? Is it a congestion issue, volume?
Right, it's all of those.
Okay.
Part of it is a safety issue whenever you have vehicles traveling 55 miles an hour on a two-lane road, not separated very well, plus you had ditches that were right up against the road, trees right up against the road. So there was a need to improve the safety of the road. Mm-hmm. Also, when we did traffic studies, the amount of cars originally using the road was fine, but as the area grew and economic development occurred in York County, more and more people are using the road. And one lane in each direction just wouldn't handle the volume of cars.
What is the approximate volume now, and what are the projections for the future?
Well, in 2006, our data that we used for the final design calculations and confirmation and everything, traffic on the road was about 20,000 vehicles a day, much more than what a single lane in each direction can handle during rush hour. The projections for 2030, which is a 20-year out horizon, which is what we design the roads to, is for 35,000 vehicles, and that's why we need the two lanes in each direction.
Mm-hmm. And I know from our York County data that I checked with our traffic safety person that it averages about 27 accidents per year on Fort Eustis Boulevard.
I was unaware of the volume of accidents. I did know that it was a safety issue.
Mm-hmm. So what is the project going to involve that will help alleviate congestion and improve safety on the road?
Well, the biggest thing is that it's going from one lane in each direction to two lanes separated by a median, a grass median. Mm-hmm. And by separating the traffic, you have a lot more recovery room and room for people to make driving decisions than when they're right up against oncoming traffic. So it'll be a brand new two-lane road mm-hmm. that is just to the north or the west, depending on your perspective of the current roadway. Mm-hmm. And then they're building that, and then they're going to rehabilitate and reconstruct the existing two-lane road.
Okay, and there will be shoulders on either side?
Right.
Pull-offs?
There will be a full shoulder, 10-foot shoulder on the outside, and a 4-foot shoulder on the inside.
Uh-huh. And will there be a turn lane added, say, along Rich Neck Road area?
Yes. The current configuration, as people drive, if they want to turn onto Rich Neck Road from York County, they're basically blocking traffic up the road, up Fort Eustis. So by adding a turn lane, these cars can get out of the way of traffic that wants to continue on through. So that also is an added safety feature.
Will there be any traffic light installed there?
There is not a traffic signal going in at that intersection right now. When we check the design requirements for a signal, it has to meet certain requirements, and this didn't quite meet that yet. Okay. It could meet those requirements in the future if traffic increases as mm-hmm. much as it's projected. Right now, what we are going to do is improve the signal on the west end of Fort Eustis near the school.
At the Woodside Elementary School in Newport News?
Correct.
Okay. What is going to happen from this point forward? I've driven down there and all the trees are down. It looks like they're filling in certain areas. What is going to happen now, and especially these areas that are in York County, and the time frame is what I'm looking at.
The project started in December and January, which, like you said, that's when the trees came down or started to come down. That's clearing the way for the new roadway, and there's quite a few stormwater management ponds that are going to be built. We have to manage all of the water that's coming off the road, collect it, let the sediment and the road debris settle out of it before we distribute it back into the water system. So we're building some of those detention ponds. So that's where you will see trees that are removed from an area that looks like about a 1 acre house lot, okay? So the trees are down and the clearing is going to be finished sometime this spring. As soon as that's finished, they will start constructing the new roadway, like I said, which was just north of the existing roadway. And traffic will stay where it is. We're not anticipating any impact to the traffic during construction. So the cars will be on the existing roadway, the contractor's building the adjacent roadway, and that will take about a year. Then we're going to do a major traffic shift where we take the cars and put them on the new roadway while we rebuild the old roadway. Okay. There will be other features installed, sound walls around neighborhoods, the stormwater detention ponds I mentioned, and some drainage pipes going in.
Okay, so are we going to have people working at night with bright lights out, or is that up to the contractor depending on the time frame that they're working?
Well, all the contractors prefer to work in the day. They're more productive and they can see what's going on. And because we're not impacting traffic very much, they can do most of their work during the day. There are a couple instances where there will be night work where they have to put some water lines and some drainage pipes across the existing road. So there will be some of those instances where they'll have a flagging operation where they'll be out there with a stop slow paddle holding people up, but there'll be lights out there lighting up the site, et cetera. But those will be very few.
Do you have an idea of when this work might impact the York County residents with the sound walls going up along, say, the Edge Hill, the homes in Edge Hill that back up to this work? Any idea yet, or is that all dependent on how quickly the contractor can move along?
It really depends on how quickly the contractor can move along. The construction of the sound walls, really the contractor wants to build those when traffic's not up against where he's building. Obviously it's a little safer, he has more room for his equipment and things like that. So for the year that it's going to take to build the new roadway to the west, there will be sound walls constructed on that side, and that'll be from the spring of this year to the spring of next year. Then when traffic gets switched over to the new roadway and we go to rehabilitate the existing one, then the cars will be moved over, and so the contractor can build some sound walls on that side of the road, which is the south side, I guess. So the sound walls will be spread out in terms of when they'll impact different people.
And I believe those sound walls are going to be similar to the ones that are on the other side of Fort Eustis near Patriot Square Shopping Center, where it was expanded to Old Yorkhampton Highway. It'll have that same look?
Correct. Those walls were put up during that extension of Fort Eustis Boulevard, and it was very important that we specify the same sound walls for this project so there was a continuity inside York County. The slight change that will occur from those sound walls to the ones for Fort Eustis, the ones on Fort Eustis will have the same finish on both sides. So the nice stone representation on the front of the sound wall will both face the traffic and people's backyards.
Earlier you mentioned the stormwater ponds. This project, if it doesn't necessarily help drainage, it won't impact the drainage. It won't make things worse. In other words, in our Edge Hill community, we sometimes have some standing water, but the stormwater ponds are created to not add to any of that.
The Edge Hill area is currently being examined for what is the cause of the drainage problems there. This project, all of the stormwater that hits inside the right-of-way is being contained and drained to our stormwater management ponds before that water gets released into the Pocosin River. So from that perspective, we won't be adding any water to the neighborhoods whereas before there might have been some additional drainage back there. But until we complete our study for the drainage problem in Edge Hill, we really don't know what the cause is. The key is this project is going to contain all of its stormwater.
Now, there's something very important for people to be aware of while this construction is going on, and that is that this is a work zone, and there are certain laws in place for safety.
Right.
Can you just reiterate to people how important it is?
I appreciate you bringing that up. One of the main things inside work zone is that we want drivers to be safe, and we've reduced the speed limit during construction to 45 miles an hour, and we do that for both our workers' protection, but also for the citizens. Our statistics show that 80% of the injured people in work zones are the drivers. So as much as it's to protect our workers, it's also to protect the drivers, to slow down and pay attention. And we really want people to obey the speed limits and pay attention to driving.
So in about 2 years, we should have a new improved roadway that will alleviate congestion and be far more safe than what we've got right now.
A little more than a little more than 2 years. In the spring of 2012, we'll be finished.
Now, if people want some more information, I assume on your website you may have some information for people who want to keep up to date on the progress.
We have the project on our VDOT project pages, and people can go to that webpage, www.virginiadot.org, spell out Virginia, obviously, and then click on projects, and you can go through and find the Fort Eustis Boulevard project and click on there. There will be an opportunity inside that page to sign up for email alerts when traffic is going to change and things like that.
I'd like to thank you very much for coming and joining us and telling us about this.
Okay.
We would like to invite you back as the project continues and maybe give our viewers some updates.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information or if you have questions about the project, call the York County Public Information Office at 890-3300 and we will forward those questions on to the people at VDOT. I'd like to thank you very much for watching County Courier, and please stay tuned to WYCG TV for updates on the Fort Eustis Boulevard project. I'm Gail Whitaker. Thanks for watching.